I was just thinking. Shit. So, my main movies, on Disney at least, that I always rewatch when I get the chance, have been Pocahontas, Lilo and Stitch 1 and 2, Moana, and now Black is King. And now that I've recollected, certain knowledge or wisdom, and connected the dots, especially remembering past life, even just this whole lie that they've sold us since children, right? Like, that indigenous people don't exist anymore, whatever. And now knowing and recollecting that I am indigenous, in fact, indigenous. And having a deep tie to Hawaii somehow. Because I'm still trying to figure out if that memory specifically that I'm thinking of right now is a past life memory or this life's memory. But due to the synchronicities, because, like, I mostly hop on TikTok to receive downloads, right? And whenever I ask for information, for some uplifting spirit energy, I hop on TikTok. 222. And today, okay, so I'll just say the past life, right? Or this life, whatever. I just remember, okay, I didn't look like this physically, as I do right now, right? I was very much dark-skinned, and I would say I was a male, okay? I was very young, and I was with my parents and a sibling. And I'd say it looks similar to a luau or something, right? And we were just watching someone perform, singing, whatever. They had red hair. All of a sudden, both my parents are shot. And me and my sibling are taken into two different trucks. Like, there's just pretty much a SWAT team that just comes after. And, like, we just get kidnapped and captured. And I recall surgeries being done on me. And I recollected this because I was meditating, right? I was listening to some sound frequencies. And I was just laying with my left hand on my heart and my right hand on my stomach. And I had my eyes closed and I was just relaxing. And what I just mentioned was what went through my mind. 4444. And I was like, what the fuck? That was intense. Right? And I don't know if it was the same day that I did that or if that was a different time, but I also recall being chained up in this long line into this facility, this building, whatever. Which reminds me of the time they sent me to juvie after I had been gang raped by the police because I assaulted them for kicking them, for assaulting me. Wow, makes absolute sense. So yeah, that's just interesting. What the fuck? And like, I'll say this again, I've said this before. All I know is here and now. How do I know Egypt really exists? How do I know London really exists? It's all one matrix, really. It's just a change in scenery, right? Like, let's say we're playing Call of Duty. You're still playing Call of Duty, even if you change the scenery. 609. You get my drift here? And I've mentioned this before. Like, it's all the same map. They just switch it up. And I've experimented this. I'll go skating or walk around this neighborhood that I live now. Even before, in 2020, I would do this. And I just think to myself, have I been here before? This looks the same, okay? And, like, that's the state I've been in for a while. Okay, I'll just think to myself, all I know is here and now. All I know is what I can perceive as of right now. And like, if you think about it, these labels, right? Like, different states, different countries, different continents, so on and so forth, oceans, we can go on for days, are all an illusion of separation. Because really, all we know is here and now. And I bring that up because since that memory has popped, 727, has popped up, that just means, okay, so I connect it, right, to like the fact, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, but whatever, I'm just going to try to word it as best as I can, as of right now. So my favorite movies, okay, as of today, 2021, that I'll always get back to, like if I get the chance to watch them, because right now I don't have Disney Plus, so it's not like I can really watch them right now, I think. But they are now, okay, Black is King. Black is King. Think about it, because like, I was dark skinned, and then surgeries and bleached, okay? Pocahontas, indigenous, right? Because obviously at that luau, I don't really know exactly where that was, but it just had like an indigenous type feel to it, like a community of vibe. It just has a tribe energy. I don't know how to describe it exactly. Okay, a familial place, not like this society we live in now, which someone was describing on TikTok earlier, how they have certain people living in certain areas, like the ghettos, right? I don't know if you know, I don't know if you've read Night by Elie Wiesel, I believe that's his name. What is, I think, I haven't read it in a while, I don't think I even finished it, but I just remember this specific thing that pops out of my memory right now. The ghettos, right? In Nazi Germany. Were specifically places where specifically Jews were sent to live, to exclude them, separate, whatever. Have them enclosed in one area, right? And now the modern day ghettos are for black folk, are dark-skinned individuals, melanated, just dark, I don't know. Someone says melanated. I need to research on that. But really dark, pigmented people. Okay? or anyone on the non-palm colored spectrum, because even I'm not fully palm colored. Like, I may be light skin, but it's still a significant amount where you notice if I was next to a palm colored person. There's a bit of a difference, not too much, but you could see that I'm not white, you know? So anyone melanated, put in those ghettos, okay? They don't see. So the environment they live in is apartment complexes, right? Just really low level, poor communities, okay? And I was saying, like, this content creator was specifically talking about getting rich, right? And obviously these people are sent to ghettos because they don't want 1111. Them to progress and evolve and be successful, because that's detrimental to the colonizers. Because I say colonizers because even those of my skin color or pigmented even darker can also have that colonizer mindset. It really doesn't have anything to do, well, it does, but those people can have colonizer mindsets too. So colonizers don't want these folk to evolve, progress, be successful. So they have them in low grade environments, and that's all they'll ever know for then, or for that amount of time, okay? And this TikToker was saying that, right? This content creator was mentioning that, because how would they even know what a mansion looks like? How would they know what this looks like if they haven't been around that? 121, 122. So just imagine that. Okay. You're stripped your whole life to just this certain mold of just looking at that environment. So you don't know what a different environment really looks like unless you're actually there. But even if you just observe it, let's say for a day, or you go visit, or you go on a hike, or this or that, you only see it for that moment. So for you, for me, right, whenever I go on a hike or anywhere really beautiful nature-wise, I feel so grateful. I feel this and that. I feel free, because that's how you should be. You shouldn't be confined to four walls. Okay? It's not how life is. We shouldn't be living in four walls. This is a literal cage. Okay? Because I'm in four walls right now. The door has four. And this other content creator, I think it's Galaxy Girl on TikTok, something like that, with no vowels. Yeah, so this content creator was talking about how nature doesn't go in fours, right? Like leaves, they don't grow in squares. Birds aren't squares. Why are we living in a square? I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. If you don't, if you know, you know. There we go. Yeah. So my point in like saying all I know is here and now, right? At least right now, because you can time travel to the past with like the memories that pop into your head and tap into your Akashic records and so on and so forth. So I'm thinking my higher self, I'll just say higher self, has made these movies, right? Black is King, Pocahontas, Lilo and Stitch, and Moana, all to be pointed out to me and be a focus in my mind, because I'm actually characters in all those movies, right? I am the main character in my own movie, in my own life. feel like I'm trying to word this so I can be understood. So, like, yeah, being colonized, right? Being kidnapped, blah, blah, blah. All this traumatic shit. Being trafficked. Being called a lunatic, crazy, etc. Being confined, literally caged up. Sent to concentration camps. That they call school and the mental hospital and rehab center. They're all concentration camps. Literally search up the definition. I've been colonized. But these movies have stood out to me to remind me who I am. Because every time I watch them, I feel so inspired, I feel so happy, I feel so seen. At least back then. I haven't rewatched them with the mentality and viewpoints I have now, because now I've evolved again. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to watch them again at this point, 16, 19. So, yeah, but point is, I was always trying to remind myself who I am and what I am and where I really come from. Because, as Madison Beer said in Homesick, I think she said something along the lines like, I'm not going to say it verbatim because it's not coming to mind as of right now, but she was essentially saying, I didn't buy the cover story, it didn't feel right. She was talking about her parents, right? She was saying how they met under the moonlight, but I didn't buy their cover story, it didn't feel right, something like that. That's what she said. And I've always felt like an extraterrestrial, or like I'm not from here, and so on and so forth. 1717. Because this wasn't my home. This ain't my planet, right? As Madison Beer says in Homesick. I've always felt like an alien, just not of this place. Speak my language, still don't understand it. Some shit like that. Just listen to Homesick, okay? By Madison Beer. Like, that's so, it's cool. Because I've been trying to warn myself and all this stuff and remind myself. You know, it's all in your Akashic records. They can do all they want to try to lie and, like, manipulate, etc., gaslight, colonize. But you will always know who you are, even if you're lying to yourself. So my point of this is, because, like, in 2020, okay, I'm going to change this again. In 2020, I watched this TikTok, and I was saying that the highest vibrational places were, like, Arizona, someplace in Cali, Machu Picchu, and Hawaii. And as I've mentioned, okay, Lilo and Stitch 1 and 2, and Moana. Sure, they're not the best, because they don't really represent Hawaii or the Polynesian people or Pacific Islanders, right? Because there's a bunch of different cultures, tribes, and so on and so forth. Or I don't really know. I still have to educate myself on that as well. But my point is, like, I've always had a tie in Hawaii. And it is a fact that I was in Hawaii. And the only time I've been there, supposedly, according to what they've told me. But they're colonizers, okay. So how would I really know? Is when I was 3 years old. And I remind you that this memory I have, I was kidnapped, blah, 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 taken away. And it looked like a luau. You understand where I'm coming at here? Hawaii? Like, out of all the places I could have chose to, like, go to, because when I watched that TikTok, I didn't have that memory come up. But then it did. And now thinking about it, all of this shit is just adding up. And now, knowing that indigenous people aren't actually African, they've always been here. There's always been dark-skinned people here. And they've fucked up the map. They've done so much shit to wipe away the real story, the real history, because his story is not history. Lord, her said it in Lord is Coming. That's one of her songs. She said something like, his story is not my brother's story. The real forefathers, the real founders of this land were buried in the ground, planted with seeds of disease. Some shit like that, okay? Please search it up. I would, but I only have this device, and that's the device I'm recording on right now, so I can't search it up. But, yeah, she's pretty much saying, like, they're selling us lies. His story is not my brother's story. The real founders, or the real people of this land, were buried and hidden. So the real indigenous people. And that's not to say, like, anyone that's, like, my skin color isn't indigenous. I'm just saying, like, the melanated folk have always been here. They didn't really come on all that shit. So, 2211. So, yeah, just recall that. Yeah. Just thought I'd share that with y'all. 2222. 22. Yeah. So, yeah, all we see is from our perspective, you know, and we can listen to our intuition, tap into our Akashic records, so on and so forth. That's why meditation is vital. That is why sound waves vital, because, like, everything is vibration, everything is frequency, so on and so forth, okay? Yeah, but I'm a little bit sleepy, so I'm probably not gonna make as much sense if I keep talking right now. So, I'll let you go. I love you. Take care. You're doing great. I'm proud of you. Vibes.